All right, everyone, ready for another deep dive. Today, we're tackling revenue optimization software,
Oh, this is a good one.
especially for our sales and revenue leaders out there.
Yeah, I bet this is top of mind for them.
It can be super overwhelming, though. So many
I
options.
mean, just so many. It's like, where do you even begin?
Exactly. And that's why I'm so excited to have a true expert here today, Nova.
Hey, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Now, we recently came across this article called Five Best Revenue Optimization Software for All-Round Business Success. It's got some good stuff in it, and I thought it'd be great to break it down together.
Yeah, let's dive in.
Before we jump into all the different categories, though, Nova, can you give us a quick definition? What exactly is revenue optimization software?
Sure. It's basically using data, customer insights, and strategies to, you guessed it, optimize revenue.
Okay, so like maximizing revenue.
More than that, though, it's not just about squeezing every dollar out.
Right, right. It's
Right.
got to be aligned with customer value, right?
Exactly. And to do that, you've got AI, algorithms, machine learning, all analyzing things like customer behavior, pricing, and market trends.
So it's about making smarter decisions based on data, not just gut feeling.
Exactly.
So who benefits most from this kind of software? Who should be especially tuned in right now?
Well, anyone in a revenue-focused role, right? Revenue operations managers, sales directors, chief revenue officers.
Oh yeah, they're probably loving this.
It's like having this strategic co-pilot helping you see those hidden revenue opportunities.
Like what? Give me an example.
Untapped markets, for example.
Okay, interesting.
Or customer segments you hadn't even considered.
Ah, I see, I see.
Even pain points you weren't aware of, stuff like that.
So you're saying it helps you identify areas where you could potentially be making more money, but you just haven't been focusing on them.
Exactly. And it's not just about finding new opportunities, it's also about making better decisions.
Like what kinds of decisions?
Pricing adjustments, for example.
Okay, so instead of just guessing or relying on your gut, you can use data to make more informed pricing decisions.
Precisely. You can factor in things like real-time demand, what your competitors are doing, even individual customer behavior.
Wow, that's powerful. What about forecasting? I imagine this kind of software would be a huge help there.
Huge. Forget those wishful thinking spreadsheets. This analyzes actual customer behavior to predict future revenue.
Much more accurate, I bet.
Way more accurate. And then there's sales efficiency.
Ah, yes, everyone wants a more efficient sales team.
This can help pinpoint winning tactics, automate tasks.
Give those sales reps more time to actually sell.
Exactly. Plus, those insights can help personalize the customer experience.
Which ultimately leads to happier customers and more revenue.
It all ties together.
I love that. Now, the article we mentioned lays out this three-step framework for finding the right software. The first step is identifying your top goals. What are some common pain points sales and revenue leaders are trying to address with this type of software?
Well, it depends on the company and their stage of growth, but some common ones are boosting sales performance,
Okay, makes sense.
getting a clearer view of their sales pipeline,
Pipeline visibility, yeah.
and improving customer retention.
Keeping those customers happy and coming back for more.
Exactly.
All right, so once you've got your goals figured out, the next step in the framework is seeking out comprehensive platforms. The article seems to really like this all-in-one approach.
It makes sense though, right?
The way I can explain it,
Having all your data, insights, and tools in one place.
instead of juggling multiple systems.
Ugh. Yeah, who needs that? This way, your whole sales team can access those actionable insights.
A single source of truth.
Exactly.
And the final step in the framework is compatibility, usability, and scalability. What's the key takeaway there?
Well, compatibility is about integrating seamlessly with your existing tools. CRM, communication platforms, all that.
Don't want to create more work for your team, right?
Right. Usability is making sure it's easy to learn and use.
Intuitive interface, that kind of thing?
Exactly. And scalability means it can grow with your business.
So you're not constantly outgrowing your software and having to switch to something new.
Think AI-powered solutions that get smarter over time, like that.
All right, let's dive into the article's breakdown of the top 5 categories of revenue optimization software. Starting with revenue intelligence software. Nova, what gets you excited about this category?
This one's all about using data to really understand your sales process.
Deeply understand it.
Customer conversations, sales performance, pipeline health, everything.
It's like having a magnifying glass on your sales data,
Yeah.
revealing all those hidden patterns and insights.
I like that, yeah. And then you can use those insights to close more deals. The article mentions a couple interesting examples. There's Meet Record, which is more accessible.
Okay, accessible in what sense?
Good for teams that aren't ready for a massive enterprise-grade solution.
Got it.
It's got automated call scoring, deal risk detection, AI-powered coaching.
They've really packed in the features.
They have. And it's got a 4.7 out of 5 rating on G2.
Oh, wow, that's really good. Real users love it.
Yeah, strong endorsement. And then there's Gong, which is the big player in this space.
I've definitely heard of Gong. They work with some huge companies, right?
Yeah, over 4,000 large customers.
But I imagine that level of sophistication comes with a higher price tag, right?
It does. And it's probably a bit more complex to learn and use.
So, Meet Record for the smaller guys, Gong for the enterprises.
It's a simplified way to think about it.
Okay, so we've talked about revenue intelligence software. Next up is dynamic pricing and automation software. This one sounds especially cool because it's all about making real-time price adjustments based on all sorts of factors.
It is pretty cool. AI is doing some incredible things in this area.
The article mentions PROS pricing as a good option for large companies.
They're known for their ability to handle large-scale operations, lots of data, complex pricing models, that sort of thing.
And then there's Price FX, which they recommend for mid-market businesses because it's more modular.
Exactly. So you can kind of pick and choose the features you need and scale up as you grow. But a word of caution here. Dynamic pricing software isn't for everyone.
Like who?
Well, if you're a startup with limited data, you might not see much benefit.
Makes sense.
Or if you're in an industry where price changes don't really impact demand.
Load price elasticity.
Exactly. You might not need this level of sophistication.
So it's not just about jumping on the latest tech bandwagon. It's about understanding if it actually solves a problem for your business.
100%.
All right, let's move on to the next category. Marketing automation and attribution software. Now, this one is a classic, right?
It's right and true.
Every marketer loves a good marketing automation platform. It streamlines campaigns, identifies what's driving revenue,
Helps you figure out where to focus your efforts.
and ultimately maximizes your ROI. The article highlights HubSpot Marketing Hub as a top pick in this category.
They're known for being really user-friendly, which is a big plus.
Yeah, especially for teams that might not have dedicated marketing experts.
They've got everything you need. Multi-touch attribution, customizable models, A/B testing, the whole shebang.
Sounds comprehensive. But are there any downsides?
Well, their pricing can jump pretty significantly between tiers.
So you got to watch out for that.
And they often require annual commitments.
Something to consider, for sure. Okay, let's move on to category number 4. Account-based marketing, ABM platforms. I feel like this is where things get really interesting, especially for B2B companies.
ABM is all about targeting your most valuable accounts with laser focus.
Personalized campaigns, building those key relationships.
Maximizing ROI by focusing on the accounts with the highest potential.
The article really likes demand-based for this category. They highlight its AI-powered account identification and its ability to create those super targeted campaigns.
Demand base is great, but the setup can be a bit much.
Not exactly a plug-and-play solution.
Not really.
All right, our final category in the top 5 is Customer Experience Management Software, or CXM. This one's all about creating those amazing personalized experiences that keep customers coming back for more.
And spending more, hopefully.
Exactly. Loyal customers are happy customers, and happy customers are good for business. Their top pick in this category is Qualtrics XM. What makes it so special?
Qualtrics XM can do it all. Gather feedback, analyze customer sentiment, map the entire customer journey.
It's like getting a 360-degree view of your customer's experience.
Exactly. And then you can use those insights to make improvements, personalize interactions, and create those wow moments that really build loyalty.
Sounds powerful. Any downsides?
Well, with all that power comes a bit of a learning curve. It's incredibly feature-rich, which can be a bit overwhelming at first.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. 5 major categories of revenue optimization software, each with its own strengths and ideal use cases.
And this is really just the tip of the iceberg.
I was just thinking that we've got a lot more to unpack.
In part 2, we'll get into specific tool recommendations for companies of different sizes.
Oh, that's going to be really helpful for our listeners.
We'll also be diving into some real-world testimonials from actual users.
Because hearing from people who are actually using these tools is so valuable. It brings everything to life.
Exactly. So stay tuned for part 2.
All right, welcome back to our deep dive into revenue optimization software. In part 1, we explored the 5 key categories.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground.
We did. Now let's get practical. The article we're looking at gives specific software recommendations based on company size.
They've got SMBs, mid-market, and large enterprises. Makes sense to break it down that way.
Yeah, each segment has its own unique needs, right?
Totally. And budgets, too.
Let's start with the smaller guys, those
Yeah.
SMBs. What are they looking for in a revenue optimization tool?
Well, ease of use is huge.
They don't want something super complicated.
Right. Affordable pricing is also key.
Makes sense. They're often working with tighter budgets.
And, of course, they want something that can deliver quick wins. They need to see results fast.
So what does the article recommend for them?
They actually suggest starting with a revenue intelligence tool called Meet Record. We talked about it earlier.
The one with the great user reviews.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a 4.7 rating on G2.
That's impressive.
It is. And they've designed it to be very accessible for smaller businesses.
What do you mean by accessible?
Well, it's got all the core features you need without being overly complex or expensive.
Now, give me some examples of those features.
Automated call scoring, deal risk detection, AI-powered coaching, stuff like that.
So those SMBs can start seeing results right away.
Exactly. And the article also recommends HubSpot Marketing Hub for them.
Ah, HubSpot. A classic.
For a good reason. It's very user-friendly and comes with tons of resources and support.
Perfect for teams that might not have a dedicated marketing person, right?
Exactly. So for SMBs, that combo Meet Record for revenue intelligence and HubSpot for marketing, it's a strong foundation.
A great place to start. Okay, now what about those mid-market companies? They've outgrown the startup phase, but aren't quite enterprise level yet.
Right. They're kind of in between.
What are their unique needs?
Well, at this stage, it's all about scaling up.
Taking those initial wins and building on them.
Exactly. And they need tools that can support that growth.
So what does the article recommend for them?
They actually say to stick with Meet Record for revenue intelligence.
Oh, interesting. So it can scale with them.
Yeah, it's designed to grow with your business. But they also recommend adding a subscription management tool like Chargebee.
Okay, I'm not as familiar with Chargebee. Tell me more about it.
Sure. Chargebee is all about automating your billing, managing subscriptions, and tracking those key SaaS metrics.
Like MRR and LTV.
Exactly. Which are super important for any company with a recurring revenue model.
Which a lot of mid-market companies are, right? Software, subscriptions, memberships.
A lot of them, yeah. And Chargebee makes it easy to manage all of that.
So we're talking Meet Record, Chargebee, and probably still HubSpot for marketing, right?
You got it. That gives them a really solid set of tools to manage their growth.
Powerful combo.
Yeah.
All right, last but not least, let's talk about those big players, the enterprises.
These guys have very different needs.
Way more complex.
Way more complex. And they're often dealing with huge amounts of data.
Yeah, so what does the article recommend for them?
They say to focus on those comprehensive, integrated platforms, ones that can really handle that scale and complexity.
Makes sense. They need the heavy hitters of the revenue optimization world.
Exactly. And they break it down into 3 key areas: customer experience, revenue intelligence, and sales performance management.
Let's start with revenue intelligence. What are they recommending for that?
They actually give 2 options, depending on the needs and budget. There's Gong, which we talked about earlier.
The market leader, right?
Yep. Super powerful, but also pricey. And then there's Meet Record, which is still capable of handling enterprise-level data, but it's more affordable.
So a good option for those looking for that balance of power and cost effectiveness.
Exactly. Now, for customer experience, the article recommends Qualtrics XM.
Ah, yes, the beast. That was your word.
In a good way. It's super feature-rich and gives you a really granular view of the customer journey.
Which is crucial for enterprises, right? Those customer journeys can be pretty complex.
They can be, so you need a tool that can handle it.
Makes sense. And then for sales performance management.
They recommend Xactly Incent.
We touched on that earlier when we were talking about compensation plans.
Yeah, it's all about automating those commission calculations, ensuring accuracy, and providing real-time visibility.
Crucial for large enterprises with complex sales structures.
Absolutely.
Okay, so to recap, for enterprises, we're talking Gong or Meet Record for revenue intelligence, Qualtrics XM for customer experience, and Xactly Incent for sales performance management.
You got it.
Now, before we move on, I wanted to mention something that really stood out to me in this article.
What's it?
They included all these testimonials from real users.
Oh, yeah, those are great.
They are. They give you such a good sense of how these tools are being used in the real world and the kind of impact they're having.
It's one thing to hear about features and benefits, but it's another to hear from people who are actually using these tools day in and day out.
Exactly. Like There's this one testimonial from Jess S., a sales and account manager, who raves about Meet Record.
I remember that one.
She says it helped her team analyze their sales calls, identify areas for improvement, and get a much better understanding of deal health.
She even compared it to watching game day footage.
Which is a great analogy.
Yeah,
It really highlights the power of having that objective view of your sales process.
totally.
There's another testimonial from Ken S., a sales manager, who credits Gong with giving him greater visibility into his team's performance.
I think that's a common theme with these revenue intelligence tools, that ability to really see what's happening in the sales pipeline.
Yeah, no more flying blind. And then there's Thomas W., a senior CX manager, who calls Qualtrics XM the most reliable, functional, and intuitive CX platform available.
He loves the depth of functionality it offers.
Which makes sense given the complexity of those enterprise customer journeys. And then we've got Mike R., the director of revenue operations, who's a big fan of Zachary Insen.
He really likes how easy it is to use, even though it's dealing with something as complex as sales compensation.
So those testimonials really bring the power of these tools to life. They show how they can impact everything from sales performance to customer experience to overall revenue growth.
They do. It's great to hear those real-world success stories.
It is. All right, so we've explored the core categories, we've looked at specific recommendations for different company sizes, and we've even heard from some real users.
I think we're ready for part 3.
I think so too.
That's where we'll dive into those additional software categories that can be real game changers.
I'm excited to unpack those. Stay tuned, everyone. Welcome back to our deep dive. We've explored those core categories of revenue optimization software, the ones that are probably top of mind for most sales and revenue leaders.
But we promised you more.
We did. And that's what this final part is all about, uncovering some of those hidden gems, those additional tools that can really take things to the next level.
They might not be on everyone's radar, but they can be just as impactful depending on your specific needs and where you are in your growth journey.
The article we've been discussing focuses on 3 specific categories: subscription and billing management, sales enablement, and sales performance management. Let's start with subscription and billing management. This one feels like it's super important for certain types of businesses.
Absolutely. It's essential for any company with a recurring revenue model.
So we're talking SaaS companies, subscription boxes, membership programs, anything where customers are paying on a regular basis.
Exactly. And these tools can really streamline those recurring billing processes.
And I imagine they provide some valuable insights into your financial health as well.
Oh, tons of insights. It's
Yeah.
not just about sending out invoices and collecting payments.
So what else can these tools do? Give me some examples.
Well, they offer a lot of flexibility when it comes to pricing models.
Oh, interesting.
You can easily set up tiered pricing, usage-based billing, even freemium plans, and they can also help you with upselling and cross-selling.
By providing targeted offers and personalized recommendations.
That's right. It's all about maximizing the lifetime value of those customer relationships.
And of course, tracking those all-important SaaS metrics: MRR, LTV, churn rate.
Yep, all of that.
Now, the article highlights 2 specific tools in this category: Zora and ChargeBee. What makes each of these stand out?
Zora is the powerhouse. They're the go-to solution for large enterprises with complex billing scenarios.
So if you're a global company with multiple currencies, different tax regulations, that sort of thing.
Zora can handle it all. Subscription lifecycle management, pricing, quoting, automated billing, the whole 9 yards.
They sound pretty robust. What about ChargeBee? Who are they a good fit for?
ChargeBee is more geared towards those small and mid-market companies.
So they're a bit more user-friendly, maybe a little easier to implement.
Exactly. But don't let that fool you. They still offer powerful automation and integration capabilities.
Yeah, so you get the benefits of streamlined billing without the complexity of an enterprise solution.
And their pricing is very flexible. Plus, they've got excellent customer support, which is always a plus for smaller teams.
Okay, let's move on to sales enablement. Now, this category has always intrigued me because it's all about giving your sales team the tools and resources they need to be more effective.
It's like giving them the best weapons in their arsenal.
I like that analogy. So what are some of the ways these tools accomplish that? What do they actually do?
Well, they can provide easy access to sales materials, for example.
Like presentations, product brochures, case studies, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And they often have features for creating and delivering effective training programs.
So your sales reps are always up to date on the latest product information, sales strategies, best practices.
Yep. And some platforms even offer real-time guidance during customer interactions.
Oh, that's interesting. Like what? Give me an example.
Well, let's say a sales rep is on a call with a prospect and they get hit with a question they're not sure how to answer. The sales enablement tool might be able to prompt them with relevant talking points or suggest the best content to share.
It's like having a virtual sales coach whispering in their ear.
Exactly.
Now, the article mentions two leading players in this category, Seismic and HighSpot. What are their strengths? Who should be looking at which one?
Seismic is the enterprise-grade solution.
So the more robust, feature-rich platform?
They've got it all: content management, training, analytics, reporting, the works, and they can support a wide range of customer-facing teams, not just sales.
So a good choice for large organizations with complex needs.
Absolutely. Now, HighSpot is also a great option, but they've really focused on making their platform as user-friendly as possible.
That's always a plus.
It is. They've got this really sleek, intuitive interface, and they've incorporated AI-powered features to make it even easier to find the right content and get the right insights.
And you mentioned real-time sales guidance earlier. I bet they've got some cool features in that area.
They do. They're really good at providing those in-the-moment prompts and suggestions that can help sales reps close more deals.
Okay, let's move on to our final category, sales performance management. Now, this one sounds like it's all about data and insights.
You got it. These tools are designed to help you track, analyze, and ultimately improve your sales team's performance.
So we're going beyond those basic metrics like quota attainment, right?
Right. We're talking about territory management, incentive compensation, performance dashboards, all that good stuff.
So it's about getting a complete picture of your sales team's activities and results, and then using those insights to make improvements.
Exactly. And a lot of these platforms incorporate elements of gamification as well.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more about that.
Well, things like leaderboards, badges, points, and rewards, they can be a really effective way to motivate and engage your sales reps.
Makes it a little more fun, a little more competitive.
Exactly. It can really boost morale and productivity.
The article mentions two specific tools in this category, Salesforce Sales Cloud and Xactly Incent. Remind me what their strengths are.
Salesforce Sales Cloud, as you might expect, is part of that larger Salesforce ecosystem.
So it integrates seamlessly with all their other products.
Seamlessly. It's a very robust platform that can handle just about every aspect of the sales process.
And Xactly Incent, they're more specialized, right?
Right. They focus specifically on incentive compensation management.
Which can be a real headache for larger companies with those complex compensation plans.
It can be. But exactly, Incent makes it easy. They automate those commission calculations, ensure accuracy and transparency, and give you real-time visibility into all your sales compensation data.
So if you're looking to streamline and optimize your sales compensation process, they're definitely worth a look. Well, Nova, I think we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. We've explored those core categories of revenue optimization software, uncovered some hidden gems, and learned how these tools can really empower businesses of all sizes to achieve their revenue goals.
It's been a great discussion. I think the key takeaway here is that in today's data-driven world, having the right tools to collect, analyze, and act on those insights is absolutely essential for success.
I totally agree. Whether you're a small startup or large enterprise, these tools can help you understand your customers better, optimize your pricing, and enable your sales teams to perform at their best.
And don't forget, the world of revenue optimization software is constantly evolving, so it's important to stay informed about new tools and features and be willing to adapt your strategy as needed.
Solid advice, Nova. So to our listeners out there, we challenge you to think about the one area where you'd like to gain greater visibility or make a significant improvement in your sales and revenue operations.
And then go out there and explore the tools and resources that are available.
Embrace the power of data-driven insights and watch your business thrive. That's it for this episode of The Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep diving deeper.